learn how to play song number 47, the Mexican Jumping Beans, on the trombone. On this page, we have a lot, on this song, we have a lot of eighth notes. Remember, an eighth note is a half a beat. If you put two eighth notes together, it makes one full beat. But remember, I want you to think, if you see two notes connected, they've got to be fast, but they have to be even. So if you have quarter notes, 1, 2, 3, your eighth notes are 1 and 2 and 3 and. Let's look at the very beginning of the song. We have B1, 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 D4, D4, F1, F1, D4, D4, B1, B1, A2. Make sure your A2 is only an inch out. Let's try that. 1, 2, 3. Then you have a rest. Then you're going for a high G4, F1. Let's try that. Ready? Play. Rest, rest. The next part, we have A2, 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 C6, C6, E3, E3, C6, C6, A2, A2, B1. Let's try playing that. We're on the first line, last measure. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Rest. Then we have a high G4, F1. Ready? Play. Rest, rest. Now, if you noticed, we just played box number 1. We learned this in a previous lesson about alternate endings or first and second endings. It means that you're going to play through the song first time. Then you're going to play box number 1. If you notice at the end of box number 1, we have a repeat sign. That means that we're going to go back all the way to the very beginning, and we're going to play through. In this song, we have a second line, so we go to the second line, but this time it's the second time we play the song, so we're going to skip over box 1, and we're going to go to box number 2. So the first time you play the song, you play box 1. You repeat the song. The second time, you skip over and play box 2. So now, here's our repeat. We're going to go back to the beginning, and we have B1, 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 D4, D4, F1, F1, D4, D4, B1, B1, A2. Let's try that. 1, 2, 3. Then you have a rest, and you're going to play G4, F1. Let's try that. Ready? Play. Rest, rest. Here's the next part. A2, 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 C6, C6. Next line. E3, E3, C6, C6, A2, A2. Let's play that. We're in the first line, last measure. Ready? And. Next line. Now it's the second time we play the song, so we're skipping over to box number 2. Now, in box number 2, your first note's a B1, then you have a rest. The next part, it says DIV. That stands for divisi. It's Italian for divide. So what it means is if you look at the notes, there's 2 notes connected together, one on top, one on bottom. It means if we have more than one person playing the song, if we were in class, and I would have half the class play the top note, and half the class play the bottom note. So if you look at the notes on top, you have an E3 and a D4. If you look at the notes on the bottom, they're A2 and B1. Since it's just me and you playing, we're going to play the top notes for today. So if you look at box number 2, you have B1, rest, and then you're going to play the top notes. E3, D4. Let's try that. 1, 2, 3. Rest. Rest, rest. Great. We're going to play through the whole song one more time, and then we'll do it with a metronome. Starting at the very beginning, we have B1, 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 D4, D4, F1, F1, D4, D4, B1, B1, A2. Let's play that. 1, 2, 3. Then you have a rest. You're going to play a high G4 and then F1. Ready? Play. Rest, rest. A2, 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 C6, C6, E3, E3, C6, C6, A2, A2, B1. Let's stop there. Ready? First line, last measure. Ready? Play. Then you have a rest, high G4, and then an F1. Ready? Play. Rest, rest. Now we have our repeat sign. So we go back to the beginning of the first line. Here we go. B1, 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 D4, D4, F1, F1, D4, D4, B1, B1, A2. Ready? 2, 3. And then you have a rest, high G4, and then an F1. Ready? Play. Rest, rest. The next part. A2, 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 C6, C6, E3, E3, C6, C6, A2, A2. Here we go. First line, last measure. Ready? Play. And now we're going to skip over to the second box, box number 2, for the second time we play the song, the second ending. We have B1, rest, E3, D4. Here we go. Ready? Play. Rest. Rest, rest. We're going to play this to a metronome marking of 60. Try your best to stay along with the beat, and here we go. 1, 2, 3. Rest. Rest, rest. Rest. Back to the beginning. Rest. Rest, rest. Box 2. Rest, rest. Great job. I can't wait to hear your recordings.